Welcome to the Pixie podcast. It's your host, Dime, and we are back again with another video. And today we're on the other side. We have a homeboy in the building. So can you briefly introduce yourself and what you do?
What's going on? My name is Woob Burnett. I'm the owner of FALLNTHEBRAND and the CEO of Persuasion Models.
So welcome again. What initially drew you to creating Persuasion? What was your mission?
All right, back in right before COVID happened, I just felt like there was a missing piece in the Richmond and Petersburg area of teaching models what it is to be a runway model and be a print model. There was many modeling troops at my school, but it wasn't like a community modeling team in the area that focused on the ins and outs of the modeling scene and helping models find their lane in the model scene. So I wanted to create that atmosphere to help models maneuver in this modeling scene. And that's when I started back in 2020.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm a part of Persuasion Models, and I can honestly say that I've learned a lot, from the short period of time of me being in there. It literally helped me as far as being more confident and basically learning the modeling world and stuff like that. I learned a whole lot.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where I've been in the fashion industry since 2017, and some models don't know where to even start at. So you know, I wanted to have a safe space for models to be able to find their way in the modeling scene.
Well, you definitely created that. Yes. So how would you describe Persuasion? What sets Persuasion apart from other companies and agencies?
I feel like it separates Persuasion based off we meet you where you're at. It's a judgment-free zone. So if you're one of those models that are just starting to learn how to modeling, you can start with Persuasion and get help wherever you are. Right. So if it's print modeling, what you want to get into, I set that up and figure out what you want to get out of modeling, so I know how to push you in the right direction. Same thing with runway. We have plenty of model coaches on our team that help models get ready for those model calls and runway shows. That's how we kind of stick out from everybody else.
You take a lot from that. Okay, so can you walk me through your creative process? Do you like to plan meticulously or allow spontaneity when it comes to new projects with Persuasion?
When it comes to Persuasion, at first I was a lot hands-on with everything, and then I realized very quick that my ideas are not the model's ideas. So it's hard for a model to give their all when it's not their idea. So I kind of structured it different when I started the print model part of it, of having a creative director and then giving the input of the models so they can have their creative backing into it. That way they can create what they want to create, and then they'll put more effort into the photo shoot opposed to me just saying, all right, this is the theme, this is what it is, show up. So that's the aspect of the print modeling side. As far as runway, creative-wise, I try to let the models be creative when it comes to runway modeling, but certain shows and certain model calls, there is a structure of modeling that is required for certain shows and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think for print modeling as well, having a creative director, also allowing the girls to be comfortable in that space too. They can be very comfortable with pouring in ideas and just stuff that they're comfortable with doing.
Yeah, and it also brings out their side that they normally don't get to have. So it's some people might like this theme and they might feel comfortable in another thing, but it gives them the opportunity to showcase their side of stuff.
Right. You also have a clothing brand, so let's get into FALLNBRAND. What's unique about FALLNBRAND?
So FALLNBRAND started back.
You got your jersey on too.
Yeah, I got it. The new jerseys gotta represent always.
Always.
But I started back in 2017, just on the concept of no matter what you're doing, you're never falling off the path of success. But I just wanted to create a clothing brand that was for everybody, and I got tired of wearing other people's clothes.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me start a clothing brand, but I have different avenues in my clothing brand. I try to not to get stuck in the streetwear thing. Because I hate being labeled as a streetwear brand. Because some people sometimes don't respect street brands like they should. But I have different avenues with my brand. I have the mental health version of the brand, which is called Stay a While Tomorrow Needs You. So a lot of this stuff, I have mental health stuff, I have swimwear stuff, I have regular streetwear, I have nightwear. I have club stuff. It's a variety of stuff.
Yeah.
Fallen apparel that I have.
How did you start your brand? How did you come up with the name?
So I started the brand back in 2017 after I graduated from Virginia State.
Okay.
Like, I knew I always wanted to have a clothing brand of my own. I had different, people who had clothing brands from my city back home in Harrisburg, who I looked up to. I looked up to College Life, which is TJ. He's the owner of College Life, and Justin, who was the owner of Black Excellence. Those are two brands from my city that I admired, looking up to. And I knew, like, eventually I wanted to start my own brand. So I was just in my dorm room, not my dorm room because I graduated, but I was in my apartment just thinking of, like, different names, and I came across, like, a Never Fallen Off the Path of Success. But when I wrote it out, like, spelled fallen, it just didn't look right.
Yeah.
So I shortened it and then put FALN, and then I just took off from there.
It's very creative.
And I just started with T-shirts, because I'm a firm believer is you have to build the name before you start making a lot of stuff that I wanted to make. So what I did was I was still connected with Virginia State, so their welcome week, freshman week, I took my last $300 and I ordered a bunch of T-shirts and tank tops and just flooded the dorms with them.
Went for it.
I gave like 10 shirts out to the freshmen. They just had it on welcome week, and everybody was like, "What's falling? What's falling?" And this was before there was like a lot of streetwear brands. There's a lot of streetwear brands now, but back in 2017 there wasn't many streetwear brands or clothing brands around. Even on campus there was only a few. So that sparked of like, oh, what's falling, and then gradually I started connecting with different modeling agencies on campus. Shout out to Urban Couture and Kurojo. Those were the two modeling agencies on campus that really like pushed my brand. That put me in their shows when I first started, when I was doing heat presses in my kitchen. But those two, especially Urban Couture. Shout out to Brandon with Urban Couture. He definitely pushed my brand. If it wasn't for Urban Couture, I don't think my brand would be where it is right now, because they pushed me to other modeling agencies in the DC area, and I connected with many modeling agencies from Models Inc. to there's many. I don't want to miss anybody. But Models Inc. definitely was a big contributor of the brand. I'm missing a lot of modeling. They're gonna be so mad at me.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
But yeah, definitely Urban Couture, Models Inc., Models Envy. It's a lot of them in DC.
When you remember them, just send it to me. We'll tag them.
Gotcha.
We can tag them. Yeah. For the students the freshmen you mentioned, you handed out T-shirts and stuff like that. Did you charge them, or you was like, I want this to be like?
So what I did was, like, I had a promo team too that I was part of called Fantasy Productions. So they were people that were new to campus. So I was like, I'm gonna give y'all are like, y'all popping. Here go the shirts. If anybody asks you, tell them to come find me. But I started that, and then I started a thing called the freshman class. So what that was, between like 2017 to 2019, I did a photo shoot with the freshman class. So I picked like 5 people from that freshman class from Virginia State, and we did a photo shoot with Fallen stuff. That really pushed the brand more, because it was people that was trying to get, it was like one of the things where it's like, I got to get on the freshman class of Fallen. So that kind of helped to push the brand too, between 2017 and 2019 before COVID happened.
So you did mention some people that inspired your work, but do you have like any celebrities, like celebrity brands that inspired, or?
I wouldn't say celebrity brands, but it's a couple people that I admire that.
Right.
People are probably gonna hate this, but I'm a big fan of Yeezy. I know people don't like Kanye as a person, but when it comes to his business model with his clothing, I kind of mimicked his way when it comes to his brand. Also, Rihanna was definitely an inspiration when it comes to like the women clothes. Pharrell, and also Kid Cudi, which is one of my favorite artists. But like, those are some of the celebrities that kind of got me more influence with clothing and stuff like that.
Those are some good ones, especially as far as like style, when it comes to like Rihanna and actually all of them, but Rihanna and Kanye, they definitely got some style on them.
Yeah.
So what are some of the biggest challenges you face as a small business owner?
For the brand or for Persuasion?
For both, if you don't mind.
I'll start with Persuasion. The biggest thing is trying to find committed people to want to take modeling serious, and actually want to do this long term and not just for a hobby. And just, I can't do it for them.
Right.
So it's just trying to find people that, like-minded people that are going to put in the effort.
Yeah.
And just take the tools that I give them and put it to themselves. But that's kind of one of the hardest things. Also juggling two teams, because I have a team here in 804 and also the 757 team. So I'm one person. So trying to juggle two teams, it's almost like three teams, because with 804 there's a runway imprint team. So it's almost like three teams. So trying to juggle those things, but with 757, it kind of runs itself with the e-board, especially my e-board here with 804. So they definitely help me a lot, but it's definitely hard to give my all to both teams.
Oh, okay.
And then with Fallen, the hardest thing with Fallen is understanding that your friends and family are not going to support the brand like you want them to, and you can't take it personal. Because when I first started, I took it very personal.
That's me now.
But I really had to realize that they don't owe you no support, and just put your energy into the people that do support your brand. So that's one thing that I struggle with. And also just finding people to help when it comes to like pop-up shops, or if like I had to be at two events at one time, it's hard to.
Because you're one person.
I'm one person, I can't be at both. And as I grow, it's like I'm asked to be at different places at one time. It's hard. So I would think those is kind of the hardest thing. Also just trying to manage the brand, buying product, trial and error when it comes to drops. Like,
you come out of pocket for that stuff as
so
well.
it's coming out of pocket. So, you know, taking the 9 to 5 to you know, buy everything, and then hoping a drop's gonna do good and it don't do good. I mean, it's just a lot of what ifs when it comes to clothing.
Right. Yeah. That's a good one too. I had to learn that myself, not to take things personal when like friends and family not supporting. Because my biggest thing was, you would see them post on social media, Beyonce, Rihanna, all that stuff. It's like, me, you know, what about me, you know?
Yeah.
But now that I've gotten to like this industry and stuff like that, I learned like, you know what? Don't take it personal. It's easier said than done.
It definitely is easier said than done.
It's a work in progress.
But it's like, it takes 2 seconds to post it. And then I just had to realize that some people just, it might sound harsh, but they don't like you. And that's something I had to like really swallow. It's like, if they wanted to, they would. So I try to shift my energy into people who do support, and not really focus on who don't.
Right. That's really good. So let's talk about future plans. So are there any upcoming projects or collabs that you are excited about?
I got a couple of things this summer, so I'm very excited about Harrisburg Fashion Week, which is my hometown. I did Harrisburg Fashion Week when I first started my brand, but this is the first time since 2018 that I'll be back home in my city, showcasing. So that's something I'm excited about. Also, Virginia Swim Week. Virginia Swim Week is definitely a dope event that's taking place in Virginia Beach area. So that's something I'm always looking forward to. Last year was a dope event. So it's a combination of RVA Fashion Week, Dapper Luke, and Team Lamb. So definitely excited to partner with them again to be a part of Virginia Swim Week. As far as Persuasion, we're still just, you know, getting things together in the summertime. We got a couple photo shoots. 757 is working on their show coming up in October.
Okay.
So those are a couple of things I'm looking forward to.
Okay. What about like in the area, 804 area, Richmond, Petersburg? You have doing anything out there? Any big things coming up that we should be staying in tune for?
I have like a couple pop-up shops. So Juneteenth, well, next weekend, I'll be at 2 places. I'll be for the RVA Black Bar Crawl for Juneteenth. I'll be in front of stadium posted up, and then also be a part of Feel Good RVA. They have like a mental health pop-up shop, so they do it. Been doing it for a couple of years, so I'll be there selling some of my mental health stuff. So those are some of the stuff in 804 that I'll be doing.
So
next
for
week.
the mental health stuff, is it clothing or?
So like I have like tote bags, so I do have like clothing for it. So I've done T-shirts for them. It had like a big heart on the back that says "Stay a while, tomorrow needs you," and then on the front it says "Never falling off" with the suicide prevention number. Okay. So I've done those, but for that I'll have some tote bags for that, and then some T-shirts as well. I might have some. It just depends.
Okay. So yes, we have a this or that segment.
Okay.
And so it's either this or that.
I got you.
So this is like for fashion. So Rihanna or Tiana Taylor?
Oh, that's a tough one. Can I say both?
If you want to, but
I was.
one for the people.
Oh, that's hard because they be both putting it on.
Dressing, yes.
All right, I'm gonna say from a fashion point, Tiana Taylor. When it comes to like stepping out, she can switch it up. Rihanna can switch it up too, but Tiana Taylor's more.
Yeah.
If I need a stylist, I'm gonna go to Tiana Taylor. If I need a designer, I'm gonna go to Rihanna. Rihanna's more of she's a business. Like she's a walking business, and I think Rihanna just has put more into clothing and the women's stuff with the Savage Fenty and stuff like that. But I would say both of them. But those are my two.
Fabulous or Kim?
I would say Fab.
Yeah.
I would say Fab.
You too fly.
Yeah, Fab is fly. I would say Fab.
Okay, this one's gonna be a little off. Lil Uzi or JT?
I feel like they both got their own style, but I would say Uzi's definitely different. But
Yeah.
I would say Uzi has his own style when it comes to fashion. I feel like fashion doesn't have like no limits. That's what makes fashion great. So I think Uzi just pushes the limit.
He does. Like, okay, what do you feel about like the men in the skirts? Like, I don't know. I think he's taking it a little bit too far.
I think that's just who he is. That's just who he is. I think
I don't know how
some people do it for the conversation and it gets people talking, and he knows when he puts that on there, it's going to be a topic of discussion. So, not saying he's doing it for attention. That maybe he just might enjoy skirts. It's just him pushing the limit. Now, would I wear a skirt? No, but
That'd be crazy because, like, I know she has to feel like, how he looking better than me? Like, his outfit look, I don't know.
but I think that's just us from the outside looking in. Like what their what they do behind closed doors, we don't know. Like they might be all in on it, and then it's just they kind of make it their own thing. So it's like behind closed doors, they might be like, all right, we're gonna do it this way just so we can get them talking. But the whole time they're in on it.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like that's like most of like what be going on.
Yeah.
So okay, we're gonna switch it up. Okay. All right. So in life, would you rather have a pause button or a rewind button?
Definitely a rewind button.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of things I want to like start over and do differently.
Yeah.
Meet some people, all that.
Yeah, definitely on the unmeet. Would you rather work more hours and have a shorter drive or work less and have a longer drive?
Like a longer drive to work.
To work.
Wait, say that one more time.
Would you rather work more hours and have a shorter drive to work or work less hours and have a longer drive to work?
I would say a shorter drive, long hours, because if I have a longer drive but shorter hours, I'm gonna spend that time driving.
Yeah.
So I'd rather have a short drive that way. If I do have a long day at work, I'm right up by my house.
Right. That's smart. Loud neighbors or nosy neighbors?
Ooh, I live by myself, so I really don't have no. So I would say probably nosy neighbors.
Nosy, yeah.
Because I like my sleep and I like my
Yes.
quiet, so I'd rather have a nosy neighbor than a loud neighbor.
Yeah, same. Because I had it was this one incident, and these college kids, they were going at it. And it was like in the wee hours of the morning. I had to go to work like probably a few hours later. It was horrible. So I'd rather have a little nosy neighbor. Okay. So go to jail for a year or every weekend?
That's a hard one.
Yeah.
That is a hard one. You said go to jail for a year or go every weekend.
I think I'll take the year because I'm
It
not getting out the way.
depends on how many weekends I gotta go.
True.
Is it weekends for a year or is it just it depends?
We'll say a weekend for a year. Or
Hold
go-
on, wait.
Wait, okay.
Wait, hold on.
Think about that.
Because if we
Go to
doing
jail. Go to jail for a year, or go to jail on the weekends.
for how long? Because if I gotta
Every
do
weekend. Okay, let's
a
see.
year straight,
Okay, we'll say go to jail every weekend for 6 months. We'll do a half a year.
I guess I'll take the weekends for 6 months. But I mean, I don't do nothing on the weekends anyway, so I guess it would be my time to reset and just not relax, but
You're
like
not gonna relax.
ain't no relaxing in jail. But
Right.
at least I ain't gotta work.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you like most about persuasion?
I like the friendships that it brings. Also it helps. I like seeing the opportunities that they get to. Just seeing like people from where they started to where they are now is one of the things that is a dope feeling to see, especially when they go to model calls and get picked, and then I get to support at their fashion shows, and then they get picked for another fashion show, or they get booked for photo shoots. It's one of those things that is definitely rewarding to me because it's like that's what it's all about.
Right, and seeing them grow as well.
Yeah, definitely. I've definitely had some that they were here when we first started. To see them where they're at now is just, it's pretty dope.
Awesome. So mention of fashion shows. Do you have any favorite fashion shows?
From Persuasion, I would say our last show we just did. It was a combination of both 804 and 757, so that was kind of a lot, but it was probably the best show that we put together. From a team point of view, where everybody contribute to making the event dope. The space was dope, the designers were dope, the models were dope, the looks were dope. It was just an overall good vibe. It was a sold out show, so it was definitely probably my favorite show that I've done with Persuasion so far. And it was kind of hard because it was like 804 was practicing here, 757 was practicing here, and that was like the day of show was the first time both teams were together, and then it looked like we were all practicing together. So I would definitely say kudos to both my president and VP out in 75, which is Lauren and Lala, and then my president VP here, which is Lennox and Mo, and also Judah out here has definitely put the show together where it makes sense.
Yeah. Did you have any of for Persuasion? Have you had like your brand model?
Yeah, so I've done like anytime we do a Persuasion show, I try to put Fallen in there. I try to not to, but I try to put it in there as like a filler just to like give a break in the show, or I'll kind of like start the show just so it gives everyone a time to like not be nervous. So I try to put my brand first just to get it out the way so people can like,
Yeah.
all right, now I'm ready to be ready for the not the real designers, but the designers that are in the show.
Yeah.
So I typically do that sometimes.
And speaking of your brand, are there any like favorite pieces you have with your brand that we should know about?
I definitely the mental health ones are probably my favorite, just because it's more than the clothing. It's more so a message, and they didn't really hit me until like I had my jacket on that had "Stay a While Tomorrow" Nisha, and I got stopped in the airport, and it was like, that's a dope jacket. Like I really needed that, and that's why I put it on the back, because when you're walking, someone can see it. They could be having a bad day, or they can be going through whatever they're going through, and they just see that, and it like turns their whole day around.
Oh, yeah.
And I never met this guy. He stopped me, and he was like, I really needed that this
Yeah.
morning. So it was like, that's one item that I really like hold dear on. Yeah, that one would be.
I think it's really good to have mental health. And I like the fact that you put it on the back too, because it will literally grab people's attention.
Yeah.
Because you never know what people is going through.
Yeah, you never know.
never know.
And mental health is something that I take hard because
Yeah.
I battle with depression too. So it's like one of those things where it's like I'd rather help others that might be going through it too.
Same.
And logo placement is very important when it comes to clothing, and that's why I put it on the back.
That's awesome. Just mention how people can follow you, your social media handles, Facebook, Instagram.
They can follow me for the clothing brand. They can follow me on Instagram, FALNTHEBRAND, and then Persuasion Models on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, a little bit of that.
Awesome.
So yes, make sure you follow Fallen Brand, and you can follow the Persuasion Models on Instagram, and you're on Twitter as well.
Yeah. Shout out to Persuasion Models. Shout out to my fallen models as well. All of them: Shelby, Kyla, Alicia, T. Who am I missing? Mo. I said Mo. And long live Audrey. You know what I'm saying? We miss you, Audrey. Long live you.
RIP. So be sure to check him out on all of the information that he just gave you, and I'll post it down below as well. And also follow me on Instagram at the Pixie Podcast, and you can follow my personal at Dime the Planet with 2 underscores. And I'm on Spotify, Apple, YouTube. So go ahead and check us out. Everything will be in the details below. Thank you.